The Vanishing Road on the outskirts of town, a narrow, winding road cut through a dense forest known as Black Hollow. The locals whispered stories about the road, calling it cursed, but Emma dismissed them as superstitions. She loved driving through the hollow late at night. The towering trees and eerie silence thrilled her in a strange way. One Friday evening, after a late shift at the diner, Emma took the road home as usual. Her headlights illuminated the twisting path ahead, the darkness beyond her car impenetrable. Halfway through, she noticed a figure standing by the roadside, a man with a duffel bag slung over his shoulder. Emma slowed down, conflicted. The man raised a hand, his face obscured in the shadows. Against her better judgment, she pulled over. "Need a ride?" she asked, rolling down the window slightly. "Yes, thank you," he replied, his voice calm but cold. He climbed into the passenger seat without another word, placing the duffel bag on his lap. As they drove, the silence between them grew heavier. The man stared straight ahead, his face pale and emotionless. Emma tried to make small talk, but he responded with curt, one-word answers. She began to feel uneasy. "What's in the bag?" she asked, trying to lighten the mood. "Tools," he said flatly. Emma's grip on the wheel tightened. The road stretched on endlessly, the trees looming closer than she remembered. She glanced at her GPS, but the screen was blank. "Do you live around here?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. The man turned to her, his eyes unnervingly dark. "I used to." Panic bubbled in Emma's chest. She pressed harder on the accelerator, desperate to get off the road. But the more she drove, the more the trees seemed to close in, the road looping back on itself. "You can't leave," the man said suddenly, his voice echoing unnaturally. Emma's heart raced. She slammed on the brakes and turned to confront him. But the passenger seat was empty. The duffel bag lay open, revealing old, blood-stained tools. She screamed, bolting from the car. The forest around her was suffocating, the air thick and cold. She ran blindly, the shadows whispering her name. When she stumbled back to the road, her car was gone. The man stood in the middle of the road, smiling now, his face gaunt and hollow. "No one ever leaves Black Hollow," he whispered, stepping closer. Emma's scream echoed through the forest, but no one heard it. The road was silent again, waiting for its next traveler.